Morning, everybody. So good to see everybody here this bright and beautiful day. And to also welcome those of you who are online today on YouTube or Facebook. Today is a special day just because it is the day the Spirit is moving in and through our being today. So we're so grateful you are here today. I'm Reverend Jay Lang. Great to be back from my mini vacation, a little solo trip I took. Feel revived and ready, and I hope you are too. And what also I know is that Bodhi's here. Bodhi's in the house and ready to bring us forward to the music.
Said, Spirit, guide my day, open my heart to live your way, and teach me to hear your voice, open my mind to the freedom of joy. Spirit, guide my day, open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice, open my mind to the freedom of joy. One more time now, Spirit, guide my day, open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice, open my mind to the freedom of joy. Spirit,
Thank you so much, Bodhi. I feel like we could just kind of melt into your music there. So welcome once again, everybody. Such a pleasure to have everybody here. If this happens to be your first time in the sanctuary or online, we offer you a special welcome today, and there'll be a special acknowledgement of you later in the service. But in the meantime, sit back and enjoy this wonderful day that we have in store for you. We like to begin our services by repeating our vision and mission statement. So if you'll look on the screen and read with me and say with me, we are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission statement, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. A great affirmation for us today. Let you know a few things going on before we begin the sacred part of our service. And probably the most important thing today, is that we have two new practitioners that are being installed today, both Bernessa Knutz that's back here and Martha Martinez over here. And I'll say more about them later, but just that'll be after Peggy does. And Peggy Usak is our practitioner today, and she'll be leading us in prayer and spiritual reflection in a bit. But I do want to let you know a few things about announcements we have today. So first and very foremost is this coming September 18th. Very soon from now, we're having our Sip and Savor, and we're doing some exciting things that day. It'll start at 2:30 with wine tasting, and for those of you who choose not to drink or aren't old enough to drink, there will be sparkling water for you to taste, different kinds of sparkling waters and teas and all sorts of things for you to participate in, as well as a silent auction. And then we're going to begin a program about 4, and we're going to honor 5 people this year that have been a part of creating a more sustainable, a more beloved community here in Napa Valley. And those people are former Mayor Jill Teckel, I didn't think that she really got her full due. Now there's another article about her in a local magazine, the Biz magazine, just because it was during COVID when people were isolated. So we just want to honor her for her decades of service. We'll also have Charlie Toledo, who's from the Soft Skull Intertribal Council, J.T. Thompson, who is the founder of Napa Black History Month celebration, and Maria Cineros, who's the principal of Valley Oak High School, an alternative high school in here. So we're excited about her being here. And finally, Brad Wagenknecht, from the County Board of Supervisor. I've wanted to honor him for a long time, but I don't want to play favorites with people that are running for election, but he's not running this time for election. So it'll be fun to be able to honor him and all he's done. So those 5 people. And then after that, we're going to have a live auction and just music, and it'll be really fun. And what I want to let you know is that tickets are already on sale. There's a link on our website for the tickets that you can get on Eventbrite. And tickets and sales from the auction go to continuing efforts to foster an inclusive environment here in Napa Valley, raise awareness, assist challenged people and families, and removing barriers to a happy, abundant life through speakers, presentations, classes, workshops, including bilingual workshops and services, community action, mentorships, and scholarships of emerging leaders of underrepresented groups. So we have a lot to fun that we want to do, and we can have fun while funding it. So we appreciate you buying tickets. We're also looking for sponsors from a business or an individual. And if you do it at the $250 or $500 level, you get free tickets to the event too. So if you're already spending money on tickets, you could spend a little more and support a good cause there. So thank you for considering that. All the information is on the website and there. And then other things coming up is September 11th. So the week before that on a Saturday, I'm part of an interfaith leader group that represents many different religions and faiths here in Napa Valley. And we're going to have a interfaith peace commemoration, commemorating the 20th, well, you don't really call it an anniversary, I guess, would be of 9/11. The tragedy that happened, and we want to affirm our oneness in that kind of ceremony, and we have several faiths participating in that. Still trying to confirm the location. I'll let you know as soon as I know that. And then September 22nd starts our practitioner class. So if you're interested in that, see me or go ahead and sign up for it. And then we were talking about a couple weeks ago about the School of Spiritual Leadership graduation when Rev. Kristen was going to come in, but that has been postponed to the spring. So I'll let you know more about that later on. And then October 3rd, several times you've heard Naranya and Janet here play their music. They're going to do a concert on October 3rd, right after the service. And I think that'll be exciting, something fun that we get back to kind of I've been enjoying the live music so much. And then we continue to have our ongoing events. Michael Coleman is somewhere here, back here, is doing Course in Miracles on Tuesday evening. We do a meditation on Wednesday, both in English at 6:30 and also in Spanish. You can see Imelda about it if you're interested in the services. And also we do Spanish services here. Not only we do our weekly Sunday service here at 10:30, but at 12:30 we do services in Spanish that Imelda leads also. So if you're interested in that. And then we also have a Sunday Dharma recovery group at 7 p.m. with Amy Riddling if you're interested in that. Her email is on the website, or you can just show up. So there's a lot of things going on around here. It's good to celebrate that. And we're going to begin our sacred part of our service now.
right here, or from wherever you are watching or listening, I invite you to shut the outer eye. I stand before you grateful for this thing called life. Today, I recognize the presence of God in everything I see. All that my eye beholds is God in form. God speaks to me today through everyone I meet. Today, I hear only the voice of God. So, in this consciousness of appreciation and gratitude, I bless today's music. I bless the message of today's service, knowing it's all coming from God. Today, I feel the power of God silently working in, through, and as me. Today, I am. Let us take a moment and give the presence of God, the great I am, our undivided attention. And let our breath bring us back to this place. Bear with me. Okay. Today's topic is GPS, Global Positioning System, God's Positioning System, God's Plan of Salvation. Grupo Pequeña, help me, Imelda. Help me. Say that for me. Grupo.
Grupo pequeño saludable.
Okay. Thank you. Say it again.
Grupo pequeño saludable.
Okay. GPS. Go pound sand. Anyway, I am very hesitant to ask Reverend Jay. Maybe he'll tell us. I don't know if he had a phone or GPS with him. You don't have to answer.
I did, but it didn't work.
Okay.
No signal.
Oh, you're playing right into my hands here. I love my GPS. I love my GPS, especially if I'm in Walnut Creek or Santa Rosa. Go 1 mile, turn right on Pendleton Road. Go 1/4 mile to First Avenue, turn right. Your destination is on the left. Not always. Anyway, now making an analogy to us. And if GPS does indeed mean God Positioning System, what device do we use if it's God Positioning System? How do we get our coordinates? How do we get our directions? We're told it's our practices, our practice of affirmations, our practice of study, meditation, classes, going to church. Now, sometimes my car GPS gets a little goofy. Sometimes I don't always make it to church. Sometimes I don't seem to have time for meditation. And sometimes I'm really deep in a situation before I can even remember an affirmation. Where is my God Positioning System? Whether you carry a device or not, whether you take a class or not, or whether you sit for meditation, you still Whether you see it or not, we all have our very own GPS. You had it before you even got here, before you even got to this earth plane. You don't have to have a device. I know we all walk around like this. You don't have to have a device. Your soul has its own technology. It's spirit, it's God, it's your higher self. It guides you, it moves you, whether you are going through hell, whether you're walking down the road. And that GPS, your GPS, is always, always, always right. You are living this life with your very, very own special, one of a kind path. And you have your very own unique, one of a kind GPS. And it is always, always, as Esther Hicks says, perfectly tuned in, turned on, tapped in. Besides yourself, there are two really supreme examples of internal homing devices. This is the humpback whale. It is the absolutely largest mammal in the world. They travel annually from the Arctic down to the tropic waters, have their babies there. Then they travel with their babies back to the Arctic, and they have fun and they play doing it. Here's another one. This is the Arctic tern, a phenomenal animal. It has the very longest migration route of any animal alive. Every year, it flies from the Arctic to the Antarctic and back again the same year. That's one end of the world to another. How's that for GPS? And we have these similarities with them. They live in what's called colonies. And we could call our church, our community, a colony. And something interesting, before they take off, birds are noisy. They stop all their noise. They fall silent. And maybe that's their meditation. Then they take off, all of them, all together. Now, here's what I think might be an important thing. They didn't just get up one morning and say, oh, guys, let's fly south. What they're doing is following the light. Winter in the north, they go south. Winter in the south, they go north. They're staying with the light. They need the light to grow. They need the light to feed. They don't grab food in the air like other birds do. They need to see below the surface of the water, and they need the light. And I believe we're following the light as well. Our faith teaches that we are perfect, whole, and complete. Look at the person beside of you or in front of you. That person is also perfect, whole, and complete, and following the light as well. Like the animal kingdom, who seem to do it so easily, we can all trust the light. We can all trust the life force. And this is one of my very, very favorite images. No matter where you wander, you are not lost. The path is right there in front of you. So trust the GPS that is your higher self. It does not do lost. So thank you for being here today. It's been a pleasure.
Was that a side conversation anyway? Not everybody needed to hear that. I would like Martha Martinez and Brunessa Knutz to come up at this time. So both of these wonderful conscious individuals have chosen to become practitioners at our center. And they come by very different paths. Come on, step on up here. Very different paths to be here today. Brunessa has actually been a practitioner at other centers and took a leave, and I invited her to come to our center to be a practitioner. She's been serving for 7 or 8 months. Is it about that? It says January. Okay. And so 8 months. Yeah. So good. And then Martha has been taking her classes online in Spanish, right? Correct. You can take your mask off once you're up here because we want to see you. There you go. And this is a process of several years you've been taking, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Since 2005.
Okay.
And taking classes and also in English, some of them.
Some of them. And I know there was a man that came up here from San Diego, and his name was Miguel Zuerta. And he actually started the Spanish-speaking ministry here, teaching classes here. Imelda took classes with him. Several people did. And then he was unable to continue coming up here. So Imelda has continued those classes. And then you've been able to take these classes online as well through Reverend Rebecca Pena, I believe, or other people as well. So we're so glad that you are both here. And it's just an honor to have you both here. For those of you who don't know much about practitioners, we often call them the healing arm of a center because they hold, they just hold us in the truth of who we are. Even when we think we know, sometimes we need a reminder. And then sometimes we definitely just forget. We're just, and it's always good to have someone listen to us. Practitioners not only stand up here on Sundays to give us prayer and spiritual reflection, they meet after services for prayer. And then also they're available on a fee basis for sessions that you can do. We don't call them a counselor, we call them a spiritual guide. And they are able to help you find a deeper way of knowing your truth. And then they always finish the session with a prayer, personal prayer for you. So those are always available with our practitioners. But you're also just a model of consciousness. And so we appreciate that you stand before us and are this light, both of you. So welcome to this. And in a minute, I'll introduce our other practitioners because they'll be part of this ceremony. So in this ceremony, this is an installation so that I have certain questions for them. But unlike a marriage ceremony or other kind of ceremony where somebody says, I do, since this is a commitment of consciousness, they answer the question with I am, because it's about their beingness that they are committed to. So let me get to my page here. So Martha and Brunessa, you have answered the divine call to be a licensed practitioner at the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living. I know that you are divinely guided in this decision and your consciousness as a practitioner, and that your own life is a reflection of the love, truth, and abundance of spirit. To publicly declare your conscious intention to be a practitioner at this center, I'd like you to respond with I am, as I mentioned before, to signify that you are willing to be the consciousness that you are called to be. And I do want to say it is a call to be a practitioner. It's a call to be a minister. And Brunessa is just within a year will be a licensed minister as well. And it's a call that when you have that vision, the classes are easy. They take work, but they're also, you see that higher light that you're called into. So it is a call, and thank you for answering that call. So the question before you, several questions, but the first one is, are you willing to be the consciousness that embraces opportunities to serve this beloved community? And remember that you are divinely sourced in all that you do. And your answer is, are you willing to be the consciousness to live as an example of one who understands and lives the teachings of the Center for Spiritual Living, and to be active, loyal, and supporting as defined by the practitioner code of the Centers for Spiritual Living? Are you willing to be the high consciousness that consistently prays for the ministers, the church, fellow practitioners, the board of trustees, and the community? Are you willing to be the consciousness that seeks peace and harmony in all situations and to find ways to be nonviolent, kind, compassionate, and healthy in all communication with ministers, fellow practitioners, board of trustees, and the community? Now I ask the other practitioners who are here to stand up. So we have Dale Carr, Janet Champion, Michael Coleman, Diana Browning, Peggy Usak, and Imelda Gomez. So there are more practitioners that are our center, but these are representative. And so as representative of our practitioner body, I ask you, are you willing to be the consciousness that holds these practitioners in high regard as a peer and know the highest and best for them at all times in your prayers and affirmations? Thank you. Thank you. And now I ask that everybody here stand up. And if you're online, go ahead, stand up where you are too. Because we want to support these practitioners and who they are and what they are being. So I ask you, are you willing to be the consciousness that recognizes them as a prayer partner and a practitioner? And the answer is we are. We are. Wonderful. So the power vested in me by the Centers of Spiritual Living, we now honor and recognize you as a licensed practitioner at the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living with all the rights and privileges that go with such a title. I present you with a stole, each of these, and Imelda, if you could come up here. So this is our practitioner stole. Each center has a little bit of a different one, but it has the white, which is representative of the light that we each are, that we hold within ourselves, and it's always the light we show outwardly to other people that we, through vibration, energy, we spread to other people. But we also hold the purple, which is our inner, the one we hold close to our chest on the inner self, representative of our inner beingness, that we are committed to our spiritual practices. And then also the teaching symbol of the science of mind that represents the creative process. So I ask that you, you have another one. Okay. Oh, you pulled that one. Good. Good. So could you go ahead and put the stole on Martha? And if you could offer her a blessing and a prayer for her being a practitioner.
Esta estola como símbolo de tu compromiso con la verdad. Reconociendo que eres divinamente guiada y divinamente asesorada en todas tus decisiones, que esta gran mente de Dios te conduce, te guía y te ilumina en todos tus pasos y tu compromiso. En so eres, y así es.
And Brunessa, I place a stole on you. I know your heart, I know your soul, and I honor who you are in this world in all ways. And in this moment, I know that Spirit is with you in all that you are doing and all that you are being in this path of practitioner and this eventual path of ministry. I know Spirit guides you and is always with you every step of the way. I know this to be so, and so it is. So let us welcome our new practitioners. Thank you. You can go ahead and be seated. Okay, now you can play some music. Oh. conspiracies here. And then, okay. Yeah.
So since you were out in the woods,
I was out in the woods.
right, for your birthday, we wanted to celebrate your birthday today.
Well, thank you.
And there's a plaque here that says, into the forest I go to lose my mind and find my soul. So,
Thank you. Is this? Oh, there's more.
I just want to read a little something on it because
Okay.
we not only want to acknowledge your birthday, we just want to acknowledge you, period.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for being steadfast in your love and support of our community. I'm going to cry. We especially appreciate your compassionate wisdom and guidance in the past 18 months. Deep breaths. We are blessed by your presence in our lives. May you be filled with precious joy and pure love all of your days. With heartfelt love and deep gratitude, your NVCSL community.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a great saying, and I love it. I love it.
One word.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
Another one of them.
birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jay. Happy birthday to you. Check 1, 2, this on. Check 1, 2. Okay.
Thank you. It's always around my birthday I celebrate. When I first came here 7 years ago, too, because my first Sunday was in late July, but the official time was in August. That was my first Sunday solo, so to speak. So, yeah. So thank you very much. Blessings.
Check 1, 2. Are we on? Yeah. Boy, guidance. That's a good theme, I think. I have a lot of songs about guidance. I got to bring out a couple of those today. This one's called Guided to You because all the elements of nature conspire to inspire me. Ooh, I like that. Conspire to inspire me to follow my inner guidance. And it always leads me to God. It's a glow of the fire, the peace of the night, memories dissolving, feeling all right. I'm letting the past go. And I see myself now, embracing the moment. I know that somehow I'm guided. I'm guided. And I'm guided to you. Storm on the ocean, awakens my dream. Oh, the mist on the mountain and the wild rushing stream. Sunlight is burning, fog from the shore. Oh, the veil it is lifting, and I know that once more, I'm guided. I'm guided. Yes, I'm guided. To you. I'm guided to you. God, I'm guided to you. Once more, I am guided.
Well done. Well done. Perfect song. You're right. You came in going, I've got great songs for guidance. So that was perfect. I just want to say thank you to this community. The last 18 months has, unprecedented. I think that word's been overused, and yet it's true. At times we just didn't know how to move forward. And I would find that when I leaned into spirit and leaned into this community, the answers would come. That it didn't have to be perfect, and we needed to stay connected as best we could in all things. And I appreciate you being everything you are. And I know we still got a little concern about COVID, and yet we're moving forward and staying healthy. And I encourage you, I know it's frustrating to think that we had it beat and then to go back into having to wear a mask and isolate ourselves a little bit. I just continue to encourage you to keep doing that and taking care of yourself and take care of your loved ones as well. And I think this the title today is about walking in the wilderness, but it's also about guidance. This is a picture of me that I took on a hill that I climbed over the Gualala River as it went into the ocean. And I have a fascination with rivers and always have. And the idea of how a river flows into the ocean is fascinating. It's interesting about this idea that I was in both Sonoma and Mendocino County at the edge of wilderness, but not really wilderness. It was more, there was no cell phone or internet, so that was as close to survival as it got. But it was beautiful places, lots of wonderful places to find quiet, to be able to contemplate, just immersed with nature, both on the Russian River and the Guala River that's here. And then in particular, today we're talking about, I think you've heard it introduced as God's positioning system or guidance position system, or the different versions of it. Whatever it is, we know that within us, there is a way that we can be guided. It may not be obvious in all ways. It may be very subtle, or it may be a feeling you have, or a sense you have, a gut feeling, or a deeper connection. Or sometimes we find our way because we take a couple steps and it's not what we were looking for. And so we can always retrace our steps, recalibrate. Remember when you're in your car, your phone says recalibrating. Take a U-turn at the next available place. Or, that's sometimes we have to do that, and that's okay to do. I was when I was walking in this in the Guala Regional Park. Whoops, got to point to this and not that. There was this amazing sacred site I found that was carved by the Setchko tribe, or in the Setchko Republic in Russia. And although the land that is around there was first lived by the first people were the Kashaya Poma, the Russians came in who were fur traders and settled the area around Fort Ross and around this area. So this tradition, they came back, some of these indigenous cultures there in the Sakha region came back and carved these out of Douglas fir. It took them a couple weeks to do that. And they were traditional hitching posts, but also to symbolize human desire for survival and thriving. And more than that, their belief system that was there. And I was so fascinated by this that when I came upon this, I was just kind of connecting with that and then just kept hiking. I lost my way because the trail went around subtly, and where I thought I was supposed to turn right, I did turn right, but because it had turned around, I was actually turning the wrong direction when I went right and ended up in this area. Now, in my campsite that I had, I didn't have any internet connection. But what was interesting about that is I recognized that I was kind of up in the clouds and not really grounded. And when I did ground myself, the first thing I found out is I looked at my phone and I had internet service. So it wasn't like I was in any desperate way. The truth is, and plus I was on, this was in the Sea Ranch area, because when I took a wrong turn, I ended up in the housing area of Sea Ranch, and there's a golf course there. Now, most of the homes were second homes for people, so there wasn't many people around, but still, I had my phone. I could just call an Uber if I needed to, right? And lo and behold, I could turn on maps and see where I was and see where I had ventured off, and I could take a U-turn, recalibrate, and get back on the path I was doing. That was easy because I had that connection. Now, sometimes in my life, I told you a story a couple of weeks ago about getting lost. It was not as easy to recalibrate. It wasn't, and there are times that connection is harder to find in what we're doing. And I know that Spirit is there with us, even when we are in doubt, when we are questioning, when we can't seem to find that connection. Now, when I think of Spirit, I think it's important to, in our belief system here at Center for Spiritual Living, we don't think of God as an entity like someone up in the sky who's guiding us, but something within us. If you think of it as an entity in the sky, that's fine also. But the way we more talk about it is that it moves through us, guides us in that way. So it's not something that's out there, but it's sourced in a universal presence that allows us to connect, to live and move and have its being through us, that it needs us in this way. Now, we can be caught in a small mind and our ego edging God out, that some people say that. And we can be not willing to turn around, for instance. I've been there before, in a car. I'm sure it's just up here around the corner, even though the GPS is telling us to turn around. And I've been stubborn about it. And sure, I was right. Just like on my walk, I turned right. Well, that wasn't the way it was. And if we continue to be open to Spirit and allow this to connect with us in a deeper way, then we can align with something greater, which is the truth of us. What I know about this idea of the G.P.S. is that sometimes it's an obvious thing. This cartoon says, oh, come on, the stick is right there, but the dog is looking at his GPS. So we can be looking down at ourselves. We can be looking at what we think is right and not take in the broader picture of life. When it's right there, we think our guidance has to be in a certain way. Bodhi was sharing with me before the service that he was called to be a music director and heard an audible voice. He said that was unusual for him to hear an audible voice. Sometimes you do, but sometimes it's just a sense within yourself. And to take in the broader view is always going to be a bigger picture rather than just sticking within your own life and your own way. This is the picture of the Russian River as it moves into the ocean. And I was kayaking in this area, and I was there was some strange currents going on, with the ocean currents coming in and the river currents. And I just decided, well, I'm just going to stay to the side of this and enjoy the view and not get caught into that. And when I got out of the kayak, I saw a sign that says, beware of the dangerous conditions when the Russian River mouth is open. Well, great. This sign was not at the boat dock. Why wouldn't they put it at the boat dock? But my intuition said there was a danger. And I followed that intuition. Signs are great, but sometimes you don't get those signs, right? So there's an opening there that allows you to know when to turn around, when to be cautious, whether it's in relationships or in a physical sense as well. And sometimes the pathway is marked clearly, this way. And sometimes it may be a narrow path, but it's clear which way you go. This was a beautiful little pathway in the Guala Regional Park that was literally like a 30-foot cliff on one side, but they kept you on the narrow right there. And it was just a cute little wonderful sacred path there. And but we also know that sometimes this big view is all you have. You don't have a specific thing like, this is my pathway, this is what I'm to do. It's more of an experience that you seek, and when you're there. But sometimes it might mean taking different paths, trying different ways, and working with spirit and allowing it to come through you. So as we seek to align and activate God's positioning system, I think there's a few things that I just want to kind of run through here. The first one is to practice stop. And what I mean, this is an acronym that stands for stop whatever you're doing, take a deep breath, observe yourself as soul, as a point of radiant light, breath, and breathe from that perspective. That's misspelled, isn't it? Breathe from that perspective and proceed into your day. And what we talked about this at the class the other night, Journey of the Soul that we're taking. And you can set your phone to go off at a certain time. And when your phone has that alarm, it just reminds you to breathe, to be present, to take a deep breath, observe yourself as a soul, as a point of radiant light, and just breathe into that perspective. Just be present. And proceed. It doesn't mean that you have to stop. This is like a 1-minute thing. It's a stoplight. Well, I'm just going to do that right here. It's just a moment to take. And then we allow, when we are opening to this God's positioning system, another thing I think is important is position God in your system. We all have certain routines in our life, certain ways of doing things. We get into that rut of that routine. Make sure you're leaving room for spirit to be present there, to open up to something greater in life. And if we wander off, know how to get back on track. There was this wonderful story I shared in my email about this sheep that wandered away from its herd for 6 years, wandered in the wilderness. And some hikers found it when it couldn't even move because it had all this extra wool. So they took it to a ranch and they shorn off 77 pounds of wool. I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like I have wandered off the path and I feel a little disconnected, a little not present, and a little heavy. Like life is like, oh, it's so hard. And sometimes I need to come back into connection. And almost immediately when I'm willing to do that, I don't exactly know where to go. I may not know the exact path, but I feel lighter. I feel more peaceful. I feel a resolution. Sometimes it's stepping into a forgiveness or a recognition, a renewal of my soul in something. But it's always available to us. And I love what Martin Luther King Jr. said. He said, you don't need to know the whole staircase. You just have to take the first step. You just have to take that first step and allow Spirit to move through us in a greater way, in a greater truth. And finally, we just want to allow ourselves to be guided, allowing Spirit to lead us, not being so resistant or concerned, or that we may be doing it wrong, or that what will people think, or our own judgments, our own concerns about our abilities to do something. Just allow Spirit to work through us in that way. Now, the shepherd metaphor is used throughout the Bible. It's an interesting one because we don't believe in that shepherd necessarily that's out there, but we allow that guide process to be through us. And thank goodness the Bible's been updated where we don't have to have sacrificial lambs anymore. But sometimes we do need to surrender that extra wool, that extra burden we're carrying with us. Be willing to surrender and just allow. Orion Mountain Dreamer, in her poem, The Calls, one of my favorite poems ever. And in that she says, open the fist clenched and wanting and see what you already hold in your hand. There's no waiting for something to happen, no point in the future to get to. All you have longed for is in this moment right now. You're wearing yourself out with all this searching. Come home and rest. How much longer can you live like this? Your hungry spirit is gaunt and your heart stumbles. Remember, there is one word you're here to say with your whole being. When you find it, give your life to it. Don't be tight-lipped and stingy. Spend yourself completely on the saying. Be one word in the great love poem we are writing together. Be that oneness in the great love poem we are writing together. So in conclusion today, I was thinking of affirmations to say at the end, and I kind of went through a process of, I was thinking, I allow the divine to guide me. Oh, that's okay, but it still sounds like there's something outside of me. And even I am divinely guided sounds like something outside of myself. So I landed on this one. I am divinely guides me. And that's the I am that's within me. Peggy mentioned that. The I am that's the greatness. It is the awe that is all around me. It's not something that I have to think of outside of myself, but within me. So it is the I am that divinely guides me. So let's repeat that one together 3 times. I am divinely guides me. I am divinely guides me. I am divinely guides me. And let's go to prayer. We are in gratitude today for all that is. We don't question that which we think should be, or we wish it had turned out differently. We just are present with what is right here, right now. And we know that Spirit is present with us, for that is all there is. We know this Spirit within us, this kingdom of God that is within, is creating, allowing, moving through our being, and giving us and allowing us the direction that we seek. We simply allow Spirit to move and be through us in this great and glorious way. And we know that we are divinely guided, that the great I am that is around us is guiding us, loving us, and lifting us up to greater truth. And for this, we're just so grateful for today. And we release this word into the law, knowing it is already so. And so it is.
Am I on? Good. It's worth driving down from Mount Shasta to just get inspired by Reverend Jay once a month. I'm telling you, it's really awesome. How about a hand for that? That was beautiful. So this is another song about being guided by the light of God. Though, yeah, it's definitely the light of God within, which is And you all sung this before, so the chorus is in the light of God, in the light of God, in the light of God. Whoa, whoa. So let's practice that. In the light of God, in the light of God, in the light of God. Whoa, whoa. That's it. In the light of God, in the light of God, in the light. Go down this time. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, you got, and there's harmonies in there. In the light of God. Oh, you know, come on, choir. Let the choir sing. Oh, the light of God's wisdom is shining within me. Guidance from that place inside is like a beacon on the sea. Advice from the world outside can sometimes lead me astray. Choosing to follow the light of God, I always find my way. In the light of God, in the light of God, in the light of God. Whoa, whoa. In the light of God, in the light of God, in the light of God. Whoa, whoa. Oh, the joy of God's presence is glowing in my soul. The peace of His warmth inside is worth its weight in gold. And fear from the world outside can sometimes confuse my mind. Choosing to feel the joy of God, I'm back on course in time. In the light of God, in the light of God, in the light of God. Whoa, whoa. In the light of God, in the light of God, in the light of God. Whoa, whoa. The light of God guides me from within. Oh, back on course on time. The light of God, in the light of God, in the light of God. Whoa, whoa. In the light of God, in the light of God, in the light of God. Whoa.
Thank you. I'm glad you came down from Mount Shasta too. It's great to have you here always. So this is a time in our service when we're share of our abundance, but also contemplate that which is guiding us, that which is what I talked about today, a time to just reflect on and seeking Spirit's guidance. So it's a while you're welcome to give of your abundance into the basket, either in the front or in the back at this time, or to use PayPal or the Breeze link that you'll find on the website, or mail it in. But I think it's also a sign of affirmation, a sign of your intentions of abundance to declare it in some way. So we invite you to bring it up from your heart. And we'll do an affirmation at the end of this time, but I'm going to have Bodhi play a little gratitude song while you're contemplating.
That's a good one. I am the face of God. You hold you in mind. You are a part of me. You are the face. You are the face of God. I hold you in my arms. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my arms. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
So I know that each of you are divinely guided as you open up this week and know your greater truth. And I also know, in terms of your sharing of abundance, that divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is. We also want to welcome those who might be here for the first time. Is there anybody here for the first time today? We have a special card for you to welcome you. Anybody here for the first time back there, maybe? Okay. Well, and we also welcome if you happen to be online for the first time. Blessings to you. We have an affirmation for you we raise our hands for all those who are here and we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. And we also affirm our children who are here and those who are near and far and dear to us. By an affirmation, we raise our hands also and we say, we love you, we care about you, and we're here for you. So both of the new installed practitioners will be in the line out front. If you want to greet with them and come join us out there as you leave to welcome them and congratulate them. And then the final thing we have to do is the community affirmation. Oh, and also the new cards for Sip and Savor. Get as many of those as you want, pass them around. There's new ones that show the honorees. And also if you're interested in helping out with the Sip and Savor by volunteering, who do you talk to? Karen, that's right. She's right there with her clipboard. Look for the woman with the clipboard. So, all right, repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. I am led by Spirit. I am guided by wisdom. I am protected by love. I am here to be a blessing. I am so grateful. And so it is.
I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace go. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abide. And I know the joy of peace. And I choose fear to release. Every moment, love wakes up. Peace is every step, and peace is every step, and peace is every step.
So as we go forward, we know that great I Am is guiding us right where we are. And so it is. Have a great week, everybody.